Time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Good morning, everybody. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York. Welcome to Coming In Hot, brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Yorkie, it's nice to see you get off the plane just in time to be hit with a polar vortex or whatever it is. And now I get late news that Charlie is day-to-day.
Charlie's out. Charlie's out with the irritable bowel syndrome, which means she's got diarrhea.
Oh, poor Charlie.
Oh, we have the best people that watch our dog, but I think she's been she's one of those dogs that likes eating other dogs' dog food. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. And Charlie, she's 2 a.m. Wally last night, 5 a.m. You know, when the dog's whining at the end of the bed, and you got to take her out. So no, she's out. She's out on the couch right now, recovering. She should be good to go a couple days.
It's a big game. It's a big game. We're not going to have a pick.
I know. Well, I could go over and just ask her who she thinks she's.
You know what? Just ask her. If you can, we'll just ask her.
Charlie, what you got tonight? She says the Sens.
Okay. All right, we'll get to that later in the show. Also, we're going to give away some Gabriel Pizza gift cards as well. It's a huge day, huge game coming up. If the Sens can win, Yorkie, and perhaps the Tampa Bay Lightning lose to the Montreal Canadiens, we'll call it regulation just to be sure, Ottawa will sit third in the Atlantic Division.
Isn't that crazy? Like to think that they could be in third place in the division right now, and no reason why they can't. Like they usually play the Rangers well. And you look at New York. New York's playing better though. Like they've kind of figured a few things out, but lost to Montreal in overtime the other night. So this is, we're going to say this every single game now. This is a huge game because it's. I can't remember the last time there's been 8 teams that could possibly that are right there. They're right there for that wild card spot. So every we're going to be saying this every single game day. It's a huge game. It's going to be a great finish coming down to the final here, to the final playoffs, a couple spots here. So yeah, it's look at that. Every day I look at the standings, it's just I'm like, how is this possible? How do you have like even the Islanders aren't out of it? Like they're right there. They got 5-7 points. So Buffalo's done, but besides that, every other team's still in the mix.
I think the Islanders are done. 7 point to come back to pass all those teams and be 7. You're done.
Yeah, they're not going to.
The only teams left for me are for a while. We'll call it the wild card chase for now, just for the 4 teams. There's only Boston, Ottawa, Columbus, Montreal left for me. Everybody else, they're out to me.
I'm just going to tell you.
By the way, I know the Rangers have 1 regulation loss in the last 10 games. I still not.
And look at the ground they've made up. None. But I'm just saying, like, if you're in that New York Islanders dressing room, you're showing up to the rink every day, and you're like, yeah, we got a chance here. We can win. Let's win 5-6 in a row here. Versus if you're the Buffalo Sabres dressing room, you're showing up for work every day, and you're like, man, I wonder who we're drafting.
Oh my God!
If you're a defenseman, I'm like, I hope it's not a defenseman because he's going to take my job. And if you're a forward, I hope it's not a forward. Because people always think that players think they're all excited when you're on a bad team on who you're going to draft to bring in help. The only guy there's probably maybe 3 or 4 guys that are happy about that. The rest of the guys aren't happy because they know that guy that's going to be picked top 3 is playing next year and he's taking someone's job.
Okay, but if you're in Buffalo, and I'm going to say you're not a Buffalo resident, maybe, do you really care if you get traded?
No, you want to get traded.
That's what I'm thinking. So
no,
draft the defenseman and move me out of here.
Yeah, but bad teams, when you're in a bad team and you are not, like if you're a bottom 6 or a bottom 3 defenseman or a second goalie, like your career could be over. That's what goes through your mind when you're on a bad team. It's like things change in a hurry. Nobody wants guys on bad teams. So Buffalo's a totally different thing.
The Rangers tonight, the Sens will take to the ice a little bit later today or this morning as they get set to face them. It's got to be, and while we don't know, it's got to be Levi Marilainen in goal, I would think, without question.
Jeez,
doesn't it?
He was really good last game, wasn't he?
So do you take the guy that gives you 1 game every 6 games or the guy that's consistently giving you a game? Arguably, his worst game was the last one at home, right? Is that the Washington? No, the Boston game. I'm sorry, they won in the shootout where he ended up allowing 5 goals.
I was going to say, yeah, I gave up 5 last time he was in the net. Ottawa had a 2-0 lead to start that game. They made it 2-2, but I go back and I watch that game, and man, he made some key saves late in that game.
Yes.
In the shootout, he blanked them in the shootout. So, yeah.
I don't know how you don't give him. So you get Merrill gets it to me. It doesn't even make sense to consider Forsberg at this moment, because I think in Boston, if Linus Ullmark gets his practice in a little bit today, obviously a morning skate, you don't get much done. And then tomorrow, the off day, he plays against Boston.
Yeah, no, I would think he's going to get the start tonight. But I think if it is Forsberg, it's just nice that Forsberg came in and had himself a good game. So at least it gives you a little more, because things haven't been going well for him. So it was, but yeah, I think Levi's going to be the guy that gets the nod here. Yeah, it's even when he lets in 5, it's tough to be critical of him. Like he makes key saves at key times. So yeah, I think he'll get the tap on the back for this one, Wally.
Well, he's certainly been a diamond in the rough, if you will. I don't know. I'm just trying to get into our Charm Diamond read. This show proudly presented to you by Charm Diamond Centers, over 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. Check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds and mine diamonds. Apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity card today and get approved for no interest financing on your purchase in just minutes. Go see them if you got any questions, or visit charmdiamondcenters.com. Chosen forever, Charm Diamond Centers. Also by Gabriel Pizza, the official pizza of Coming in Hot, and of course of the Ottawa Senators. Now, I meant to do this earlier, so this is going to mess everything up. If you want to win a Gabriel Pizza gift card, we're going to give away 2 today. Just email the show at CIHsends@gmail.com. CIHsends@gmail.com. Tell me what the name of the promo is for the Sens pizza the next day when you want 40% off. Just tell me what the name of the pizza promo is. And then later in the show, because I messed this all up, I apologize, Jake, we'll get to the Gabriel Pizza read. Otherwise, I'm just going to read exactly what the promo is. Okay.
Wallace will read whatever's on the teleprompter.
It's so true. So true. I'm Brent Wallace.
I'm Brent Wallace.
Okay, let's get before we. I was going to get into the McDavid suspension, but we can get into that later if you want.
Yeah.
You want to do it now?
Sure. It's pretty topical. Everyone's talking about the best player in the world just got suspended for 3 games because he got frustrated and cross-checked the guy that wouldn't get off him.
Okay, so stop for a sec. Let's go to the Tyler Myers, because Tyler Myers got 3 games as well for his cross-check into the face.
That was a good one. How do you cross-check a guy when you're 6? What's Myers, 6'8"?
Yeah.
Imagine that guy's coming at you, you're like, okay, no, I'm going to get over his head.
No, it was waist tight for Tyler Myers.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's tough. It's tough to get him right in the chest. It's just so silly, Wally.
Okay, so all right. Are you okay with the Tyler Myers suspension for 3 games?
Well, yeah, he cross-checked him in the head.
Okay,
so let's pretty good,
because people are all bent out of shape of this whole thing. They believe that Tyler Myers is more egregious than Connor McDavid.
Oh yeah,
I don't understand.
This is the thing with the NHL. Now, I always say this. There's 2 sets of rules. There's a set of rules of what you're allowed to do between the whistles. Between the whistles, you accidentally scrape a guy's pants a little too hard, you're going to get a penalty. But after the whistle, you can punch a guy in the head. It's all good. But how many times can you punch him in the head? Can you punch him once, twice? Does he punch you first? Did he punch you? It's like scrum rules. What's allowed? Like hockey is the only sport where there's really no cut and dry rules of what is and what isn't a penalty after the whistle, right? When you really think about it.
Well, when you think about it, the rules are clear. It's how you enforce them.
They're not, because you're allowed after. Okay,
No, you're not allowed to punch somebody in the head. It's a roughing penalty. Whether or not the refs call it is different.
during the play, if you cross-check a guy let's say a guy's standing in front of the net and you cross-check him in the low back and he falls down, you're going to get a penalty. After the whistle, if a guy's standing in the crease, but he's not really doing anything, he's kind of looking at your goalie funny, you can cross-check him 3 or 4 times and not get a penalty. And you could probably punch him in the head too. And he could punch you back in the head. But it's just, my point is, when it comes to suspensions, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, he cross-checked him in the head after the whistle. If he would have cross-checked him in the chest, he wouldn't have got suspended, but he got him in the head. But how hard did he get him in the head? It's ridiculous. It's the only thing about the NHL I really think they should clean up. In other sports, if you do something after the whistle, you're automatically getting a penalty. Automatically.
So
NHL,
2 things.
Who knows what's suspended and who's not, and what's a penalty and what's not.
So I understand your point of how they enforce the infractions. The point is, in the rule book, those are penalties. Like,
not after the whistle. Not after the whistle, they're not.
Yorkie, it does not stipulate in the rule book whether it's with or before or after a whistle. So
I know it does, but that's
I know,
why
but you're saying it's not it is in the rule book if they actually want to call the penalties, which makes the problem is that's what makes it upsetting when there is a penalty called and there isn't, because that's how they enforce them, right? And they're like, well, I know both of you just cracked each other over the skull with your stick, but only one of you is going to go to the penalty box because that'll settle things down. I disagree with that sometimes. Now, the other point that you made is they need to make better rules or whatever. Watch the IIHF, the World game, and people are upset because they call the penalties.
It's so soft.
Right, but that's the rule book. So they call the rule book. You don't want them to call the rule book.
No, during the play, I don't want them to call ridiculous penalties, what they sometimes do for not even a hook or a hold or that. It's a tough game. My thing is after the whistles, it's like, how do you get rid of these little? Because here's the thing: there's scrums all the time after the whistle, but nobody really fights anymore. It's like guys come in and they look at each other and they push and shove. It's like it's pointless. It's pointless. There's no fighting anymore, really. There's a couple fights here or there, but it just bothers me because hockey's the only sport that allows this BS after the whistle. Do you imagine after just think about this for a sec. After every play in football, there was guys pushing and shoving. And sometimes a hockey game turns into that. And it's different. Like, if you want to push and shove, fight. If not, enough of this. It's stupid. It's pointless. So the point is with these cross checks, it's also the same. It's like, well, how many games is he getting? Did he get him high enough? It's just there's so much gray matter after the whistle that it's so tough to determine what is and what isn't.
Yorkie, there's gray matter before the whistle. How is Connor Garland? I don't understand this play. I don't understand how there's no penalty. It bugs me if you don't let players get up. This always irritates me. This holding, but you're not really holding. Well, you're not really trying to get up. Connor is trying to get up. So what? I understand that Edmonton has possession of the puck. You still have to call that a penalty. Yeah. Like there's excessive, and then there's that.
Listen, everybody.
Chris Neal was very good at it too, by the way, right? Nealer could lay on somebody for like 25 seconds.
Well, it's when guys like some of the net front guys lie in front of the goalie when you get knocked into the goalie and stuff like that. I get. Hey, listen, it's you're trying to get an edge. You're trying to do something. You're Connor Garland. You're trying to piss Connor McDavid off, and it worked. Like, do people in Ottawa not love Ridley Gregg? Like, what's Ridley Gregg trying to do all the time? He's trying to piss the other team off. Nick Cousins, like these guys are shift disturbers. That's what they do. He's like the angry little gnome out there. He's out there. He's doing stuff. So, listen, McDavid went a little too far. It's the same. Like, if he would have just cross-checked him in the chest, he wouldn't have got suspended.
Of course. But why can't we get why is there no whistle beforehand?
Garland did a really good job of disguising it. He was like, okay, oh, damn, I can't get up. I've fallen and I can't get up. It's like that old commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh, damn it. I'm going to just drape myself over McDavid. And then McDavid's just, are you kidding me? Like, really? Get off me. Cross check, shit, got him in the head. Okay, now I might get suspended. It's just, it was a really good job by Garland of getting under the skin of McDavid. And McDavid, he's not used to doing stuff like that. So he's not used to giving out a good cross check. Just got a little too high. That's the problem. That's all it is, Wally.
Are you okay with the 3 games?
No, because I don't want the best player in the world suspended for 3 games. Like, that's, what do you do if you're, I've seen guys not get suspended for stuff. Personally, if it was me, I wouldn't have suspended him. I would have just said, you know what, Garland, you're the guy that started this. I know he got you a little high. I would have fined him.
You can't. Yeah, you can't run at him and cross-check him in the head and go, yeah, it's a fine.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't want the best player in the world.
So call the penalty beforehand, Yorkie. Call all the penalties where you're slapping the guy in the hands.
Call the stuff. Yeah, call the stuff. Well, they didn't. But that's the tricky part of it, right?
But then it gets slow, right? Remember when they brought in all the obstruction rules after the lockout? And there was 900 penalties every game. It just slowed everything right down. Now, players get used to it and you adapt. But if you start calling every penalty, that is going to be a really long first half of the season.
The players are so smart, Wally. Like, look at guys, guys know when a stick's now near their face. Even if it doesn't hit, they fling their head back. Like, the guys know how to draw penalties. They know how to work the rule book or the refs to their advantage each and every shift. That's what makes some guys really good at being rats and some guys not so much. Like, McDavid's he could never be a rat. Like, he tried to cross-check a guy and it's like he screwed that up. Like, it's hard. Being a rat is really hard. It's your guys are always after you. The other team's always booing you. You got to play right on that line. That's why Nut Cousins gets few more penalties here and there, because it's probably, one of the toughest jobs in hockey, being a rat on that line. Like, you always got a target on you. That's why some guys just can't do it. McDavid, terrible rat. Terrible.
Brady called off a penalty in the last game.
I saw that. Like, how often do you see that?
I can only think of the Cale Makar one that he did as well. It's like, no, that's not a penalty. That's the only real times I can remember. Are you surprised because if I'm not mistaken, that's a 1-goal game at the time, third period, right? Like, key moment that you could have taken a power play. Interesting decision.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. The last time I remember that was with Cale Makar coming around the net, gets hooked. He didn't get hooked, just fell on his own. No, that was me. That was me. Imagine if I'm like, what are you doing? We need this power play.
I respect it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm the same because, like I said, guys are doing it all. Guys are embellishing all game. Guys are snapping their heads back. Guys are diving. It's never been tougher to figure out if you're a ref. Is he doing it? So when a guy comes to you and says, holy shit, he just said it wasn't a penalty. like, you know what? You probably, for a guy like Brady, he has a lot of respect with the refs. There's a lot of refs when they played, at least a lot of guys that refed when I played, they played kind of a tough kind of game when they were playing. A lot of refs. So they appreciate a guy that plays hard, plays tough, and plays the right way. And that's pretty well Brady Tkachuk, right? So, you know what? These probably guys talk, everybody watches. That'll probably pay him back down the road on a marginal call here and there, where it'll go into a memory bank and it'll probably serve him well in the future, because the refs talk. And do you think they like getting showed up when a guy actually dives and does stuff versus you got a guy doing something like this? You know what? It's not the worst thing to do, Wally, because it's a long season and the calls are going to be that more meaningful coming down the stretch. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Let's get on to the game. Yorkie, take care of some business for me as we get into tonight's Ranger game.
Yeah, thanks to the good folks at BEI, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. Always there for you for equipment rentals, topsoil, aggregate sales, custom crushing and screening, as well as hot mix paving. So when you're planning your next project, please consider BEI for all your aggregate supply needs, and you can get them at MonteshreExcavating.com. or give them a call at 613-432-1120. And remember, please slow down those construction zones.
Also, as always, this show proudly presented by our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Open an account today with Bet365. Bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. You use code NATION. That's NATION, all in uppercase letters. It must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly. Download the app today. As we will get to the odds, but no Charlie, unfortunately, as under the weather.
Yeah.
All right, so Ottawa, you said they played the Rangers okay. Well, Ottawa has only won 3 of the last 10 10 games against the New York Rangers. But they did have that game, the last time they met in New York. They outshot them 41-18. Linus Ullmark just stood on his head. They should have won that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The one that always sticks out in my head is when Brady had the fight at center ice with Trouba. That was such a good hockey game. Trouba's gone, so that storyline's gone, obviously. But like I said, the Rangers, I still say watch out for the Rangers in the second half here. They're starting to figure it out, starting to play better. And you look at those you look at the records. I think after Ottawa too, Wally, I think the Rangers have the second best goal differential of teams coming up from behind, trying to get that last wild card spot. Like their differential isn't terrible, and I think that's such a good indicator of really where you are as a team. Like you look at Boston's differential, it's awful,
Mm-hmm.
and now they find themselves out of a playoff spot. But no, it'll be interesting. Like it's Montreal's coming off that loss to New York's coming off that loss to Montreal, so. Like I said, we're going to have this exact conversation for the next 3 months. This is a big game. Oh boy, this is a big game. They're going to need this because I just don't think there's going to be any breathing room from here to the finish line.
All right. So first of all, Columbus is the second best goal differential team outside the playoffs, or behind Ottawa. Right? They're -1.
They're in the playoffs.
The Rangers are -8. I just wanted to clarify that.
Columbus is in a spot. I'm talking about teams on the outside trying to get in.
Columbus is outside of the wild card spot right now.
Okay, I haven't updated them today. Oh, shit, I forgot Boston had a game before I saw that. Yeah, so
Boston won last night.
Yeah, missed that one, but Columbus. I don't know if Columbus is going to be there when it's all said and done. Man,
I'm not convinced of them either. Yeah,
I'm not convinced. Well, who do you like on all those teams coming up?
Montreal, they still scare me. I feel like they're playing with house money because there's no pressure on them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it was 10 games ago. Maybe it was a little more. People were like, "Wow, we'll see what the lottery pick is going to be for us." As they said, they were in last at one point here.
Yeah,
they've played well. Lane Hudson, I think he's got I know Macklin Celebrini in San Jose. Lane Hudson, I feel like has been doing more for the Montreal Canadiens and playing in more meaningful games than Lane Hudson or Macklin Celebrini.
If Montreal makes the playoffs and Hudson continues to play, he's got to get the Rookie of the Year. I'm sorry. It's such a different mindset, intensity when you play on a team that's out of the playoffs. You lose a bunch of games and you get let's see, you lose 5-3. You pick up a couple meaningless cookies on a 2 power plays or whatever. Those goals, I'm sorry, they're not the same. They're not the same. You're going to play in, and that's why I don't think Montreal is going to make it, because they're going to realize now, like you said, there's going to be pressure moving in. And I don't have Montreal's schedule in front of me, but is that Four Nations Cup, because there's some games in Montreal, is that going to kick them out of the Bell Center for a while? It's the question.
I don't think you can skate, but they have their own practice facility anyway, York. I don't know that it matters.
Yeah.
Like nobody's playing. I don't know that you can. I don't know what the rules are, and I asked. I asked the league to get back to me of when players are allowed to skate and when they aren't during the Four Nations, and maybe they all are. Anyway, we'll get back to that later. Okay, back to the Ranger game. Brady Tkachuk loves to play on Broadway. This is the first game since the whole article came out about him being
Soft tampering?
coveted. Yes, the soft tampering, right? December 6th, I think it was Larry Brooks who came out and said, "Oh, the Rangers are making their play to bring in Brady, and they're having talks with the Senators," which was vehemently denied.
Yeah.
Brady is struggling right now. So in 8 games at MSG, he's got 12 points. He had that great game against, it felt like against Jacob Trouba. They fought at center ice. He scored, I think, the overtime winner. He has not produced a lot of late. He's pointless in 7 games. It's his second longest streak of his professional career. His first was in his rookie season early on, like in November. So this is really his longest stretch, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think tonight's the night that Brady will break that. I think this is a statement game for Brady Tkachuk tonight.
Yeah, and it would be one thing too if he's not producing right now and the team was losing. So I'll say this about Brady Tkachuk's game: who is Travis Green putting on late in games when this team's trying to lock down a win?
Yeah.
In the third period, when you're defending, I see Brady Tkachuk coming on the ice all the time. I see him back checking hard. I see him in the right place in the defensive zone. I see him winning battles for pucks, flipping them out of the zone to help bring back down a low scoring game. So yeah, you're not paid $8 million to not get points and just be a defensive player. But I'll say this: his defensive game, Wally, has come miles. It's come miles in the right direction of coming back further in the defensive. And you remember when Brady's been interviewed, he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get my game well-rounded, more well-rounded. So what would you rather have? Brady Tkachuk scoring every game and the team losing? Or Brady Tkachuk, he's going through a cold spell right now, and hey, the team's still winning. Like, I just don't think it's that huge of a deal because of how the team's playing. They're playing a style right now where sometimes you're not going to get points, and I'm fine with that. This business is about winning.
Yeah.
It's not about cookies and who's getting their points, and it's just sometimes it goes like this. So I'm not that concerned about what's going on with Brady Tkachuk right now, because I'm looking at his ice time. I'm looking at what he's doing in the defensive zone. He's playing the right way. Like, there's so many guys in this league, Wally, that get their cookies and they always get their points and they're out by the red line, and you get your 2 goals and a 5-3 loss. I'd much rather have this. winning 2-0. A couple other guys score, no big deal. I think this will change too. And I do agree with you. This is probably the night. He gets it going.
Okay. There is and I mentioned this yesterday. If you look back at the last 10 games of goal scorers, it's not like they're not blowing teams out. I know there's the 6-5 game against Boston, but is there overall general concern? Like Drake Batherson, geez, I think it's like 1 goal in 16, 17 games. I think Claude Giroux hasn't scored in, I think, since he played for the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm just kidding. It's been a while for Claude. Like, is there concern when you're top 6 right now?
Claude had, I get what you're saying. Claude had the 3 apples, the 1 game on the road there.
Yeah. Like 4 points in 2 games. Yep.
It's what you're doing at key times in games. Norris had the big goal on the slot there in Boston, like with whatever there was 8 seconds left. It was, I think it was Giroux that fed it through to Norris, wasn't it? That made that great little play to tie that game in Boston. So there's not as much offense going on right now, but the time of when the offense is coming at big moments, I would say if I was going to be concerned about one thing right now, it is power play. And if you figure the power play out and get that going, that's going to help increase those stat lines of goals and getting guys like, because those are the guys we're talking about, all the guys that play on the power play, the guys that aren't producing right now. It's Batherson, it's Tkachuk. Look at Gaudette. What did Gaudette go? Was it 15 games without a goal? 15 or 16? Now all of a sudden he's starting to score again. He's got a couple goals here in the last few games. So like I said, I don't think these guys, everybody like a Tkachuk, like a Norris, like a Batherson, Drew, I'm sure, they want to produce, but at the same time, they want to win more, Wally. Like it's they're in a position right now that they haven't been in. Thomas Chabot's never been in. Like, think about that. Think about that for a sec. So I really don't think these guys are paying that much attention to the stats as
Do
we
you
are. They're looking more at the win column.
do you believe that then this team has fully bought into taking more pride in their defensive game? And by that, I think I brought it up yesterday in the show. Since November 25th, this team on the road. Remember, they were a terrible team at the start of the year. They went 1-5.
Yeah.
They are first in goals against, first in save percentage for nearly 2 months on the road.
And guess what? They're winning. So, something to play the type of hockey they're playing, you got to sacrifice some offense. You do, because I'll put it this way. When you play this way, you're always thinking about recovering to the middle of the ice so you don't get caught deep. If you see a guy going, you're backing up. You're always backing somebody up. So I was always taught as a defenseman to play a worst case scenario situation. And what that means is when you see a puck go into an area, you reload to a spot. Like if your defenseman pinches your partner, you slide over behind him in case they chip it behind him. If you're going on the forecheck and you see your partner too deep, you slide in behind him. That's how they're playing right now. You know the term Travis uses all the time, playing on top of the puck? That's what they do. And when you play on top of the puck, you're not cheating for offense all the time. And it turns into what's happening right now. Lower scoring games, limiting opportunities. Like they just didn't all of a sudden start getting all these shutouts because the goaltenders are way better. Yeah, they're playing well, but it's the system they're playing that's helping. It's how these guys play. They bought, like, yes, to answer your question, they have bought in to what Travis Green has been selling them since day one. And that's play defense first, responsible, 200-foot hockey. Sometimes it's not the most exciting. Sometimes it's kind of boring. Sometimes you'll see long periods of stretches where there's no shots, no scoring chances. But it's high percentage hockey that you win with in today's NHL.
Okay, let's take a look at that matchup board again. Something that jumped out at me against the Rangers is the Rangers have the fourth best penalty kill in the league.
Yeah. And Ottawa's penalty power play is atrocious on the road.
Atrocious. And face-off wise, the Rangers are second. Ottawa is sixth. This is an interesting game. Like the Rangers they've had a bunch of games go to overtime, but in the last 10 games, I think they've lost once in regulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-1-3, 5-1-4, or 6-1-4. Like they've played some pretty good hockey, but there's nothing about them that scares me at all.
The Rangers?
Goals for, like you would think the Rangers are being a offensive team. Goals for, they're 20th, goals against, they're 18th. Oh yeah, they have Igor Shesterkin, people think is the best goalie in the league. Well, he's 18th. Their goals against is 18th. Yeah. There's nothing about that team that jumps out and scares me. I'll be interested to see who you pick today. But that Ranger team I know they're getting points. They just don't seem to.
Well, that's why they're on the identity.
Other than solid.
No. Yeah, that's kind of been the MO for the Rangers for a while. It's their top guys, right? Zibanejad is a super talented player. His goals are way down this year, but he's always a guy to me that likes, for a big guy, loves to play on the outside, likes an easy game. And to me, that's Panarin, same thing. Super talented, one of the best players in the league, but doesn't always back check hard. Wouldn't be considered one of the top 200-foot players in the game. And that's, to my point, what I was saying earlier is, yeah, Tkachuk's not scoring right now, but his defensive game is miles better than it used to be. So that's the difference. Like if you win in this league when your star players play the right way. And for a lot of parts of this season, that's been what's wrong with the Rangers. Their star players don't play the right way. And now they're starting to, and they're starting to win again. But I agree. There's nothing really that scares you about this team, but they are starting to play the right way, because if they don't, they won't be a playoff team.
I thought I don't want to get off topic. I just thought when they started trading Trouba and stuff that this was going to be an extreme makeover, and they just haven't done it. So I don't know what the whole point of saying everybody's available and not making anything happen. I just think that's a team that's completely disgruntled.
They didn't really trade any of their core pieces. Like Kaapo Kakko wasn't doing much. They
Do
were
you not
on
think Jacob Trouba is a core piece of their captain?
Yeah, but if they were on him for his decision making, for his turnovers, for the amount they were paying for what he was doing for them. Like, he's a tough guy, hits hard. We making over $8 million, and they're probably thinking this money could go much better allocated to something else versus paying him for a guy that they thought his play had slipped.
I guess. Okay, so we have a live look. We do have an update of how Charlie is doing.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. Okay. You take the day, Charlie. You take the
Look
day.
at poor Charlie. She's curled up in the fetal position on the chair. She's got the diarrhea last night. You come home from a trip, dog's all happy to see you. It's great. You're happy. All of a sudden, 2 a.m. Outside, 5 a.m. outside, and here you go. Charlie Cam, she's on the chair right I'm heading to the Farm Boy after. Well, I gotta pick up some rice, some chicken, and some sweet potatoes to make up the Charlie sore tummy mix.
Yeah,
get her going.
Yes. Okay. So here's where we get to now. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Is your picks for the day. Ottawa is the the money line is on the Rangers. I was going to say the over under is 5.5. Are you okay? So are you going to take the Sens or the Rangers? By the way, Ottawa has lost 3 straight games to the New York Rangers. But the bet boost today, because I think this is a statement game by the captain, Brady Tkachuk to score a goal, Brady Tkachuk for 2 points, and Brady Tkachuk to have 3 shots on goal at plus 600. I think that's about to happen.
All 3?
I think the parlay is going to be the Brady show.
The Brady show. Ooh.
He is going to shove this game into the Rangers' throats.
I don't know about the parlay. I like the shots on goal. I foresee this as being a low scoring game. So I'm looking at the points, but no, are we doing our picks right now?
We are doing the picks right now.
Yeah. I like Ottawa to win this game. I like how they're playing right now. I didn't love the start against New Jersey, but I just like the whole mental makeup of how they're going about their business right now. They're in a great mindset. They're ready for another good road game. I just think they play the right way, tight scoring game, and they get it done again with another win.
Rangers 6-1-3 in their last 10. Just as a reminder, if you're looking to pick. Oh, by the way, there's a poll up in the YouTube chat. I totally forgot about this. We'll get to it in a sec. It's the Canadiens play the Lightning tonight. An Ottawa win with a Tampa Bay loss, and we'll call it in regulation, puts Ottawa 3rd in the Atlantic. I even think with a regulation loss, they're still 3rd in the Atlantic, or an overtime loss. Are you going to take the Canadiens or the Lightning, by the way?
I wasn't. Is this in Tampa? Sorry, I missed that last.
It's in Montreal at the Bell Center tonight. Of course, Tampa just coming off the loss to the Leafs last night in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't see Tampa losing 2 in a row. I'm going to take Tampa on this one. Coming on the back-to-back, coming out ready to play, and I don't see them winning 2 in a row. So I'm going with losing 2 in a row. So I'm going to take Tampa.
It's good. And Vasilevsky should start tonight because he didn't play last night. So you might be right.
Yeah.
Lightning. Yeah. Okay. Back to the Ranger games. I totally.
Yeah. Who
Jake,
do you like?
I apologize. This is a Sens game for me.
Yeah. You feeling it? I'm feeling it.
I'm not like this is an overtime game to me. I don't want to discount the Rangers of late. I just don't think that they're a very good hockey team, although they played really good hockey of late. This is a Senators victory. It may be an overtime game.
Yeah. I really like how Ottawa's defense is playing right now. I like how the partnerships were structured. I look at how Jensen's playing right now. Thomas Chabot, even with the bubble, I thought he struggled the first night with the bubble on, but it takes a while to get used to that. but he is skating the puck as good as I've ever seen him. Sanderson and Zub are playing tremendously, and I really like Tyler Cleven's game right now. While he's playing with a ton of confidence, your boy Matt and Paolo's been good too. So you got 6 very confident D back there. You've got a group of forwards who are back pressuring, helping out their D. They're just playing like a real cohesive unit. I love that third period against New Jersey, how they played. They didn't give them a sniff. And New Jersey, to me, is a much better hockey team than the Rangers. So if they go in and play that way in the third period, carry it over, man, that's why I like the Senators. They're playing like a team right now. And they're getting good goaltending as well.
Well, Tyler Cleven's playing well because Nick Matt-Paolo has settled this entire group down.
He's just come in and say, listen, Tyler, jump on the old Matt-Paolo shoulders here. Everything's going to be okay, kid. Have you talked to Matt-Paolo yet? You chatted with him? Tell him
just briefly.
Tell him how much you like him?
No. Hey, Nick, I really like you, man. I pick you all the time. No.
Just say, come up and say, hey, Nick, Brent Wallace coming in hot. Love your game, big boy. Doing a lot of things I like. Just a couple extra cross checks after the whistle, a couple of those. I like those.
He knows. He probably doesn't miss a show, I'm sure.
You think? He's like Josh Norris watching the show?
I do know when players get spoken about favoritively, they may tune in and catch part of the show that talks about them.
Yeah? What leads you to believe that?
Because I've heard.
The word on the street?
They're like, hey, I heard you talking about yes. So yeah, they do. They know.
Hey, did you watch Landman yet?
No, I don't have. What is this, Paramount Plus?
You can get it for free for 30 days. You can just sign up. You get the free 30 days. You like it.
And I'll forget.
You're going to forget to take it off? I'll remind
and
you.
I end up paying for everything. Like I have too many subscriptions now. Okay.
I know you do forget. Once you get a lot, you just keep paying.
Yes.
Yeah, I get you. But no, it's worth it. Landman, for those who want to get a good show.
I
Yorkie
just
recommendation.
finished 9 seasons of Suits in about a month, I think it was.
You're just watching Suits now?
Yeah. I didn't see it. I don't watch a lot of drama TV, or I prefer more of a reality type. I know this may not excite you, but I like the History Channel and Discovery Channel. I like to learn stuff. I like documentaries.
You like a good doc, eh? Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Always learning, eh, Wally? Always learning.
I don't know anything, but I like to learn. Anyway. Okay, Sens win. This will be a huge game. A Montreal win would be even better. But
yes.
We'll see how that plays out. I know there's something else I need to bring up in the show, but I can't for the life of me think of it at the moment. Jake, is there something I'm missing?
You should have got Gertie to fill in for Charlie today. Bring in the lefty.
Well, I would have if I didn't know. If you'd have said, hey, can Gertie step in today?
Gertie comes in from the pen. We're bringing in the lefty.
Gertie would do anything for a treat.
Yeah.
Except she doesn't want to go outside. I don't blame her. All right. So we're going to do the winners of Gabriel Pizza gift cards. That's 2. We're going to give 2 $50 gift cards away. As always, as brought to you by Gabriel's Pizza, the proud official pizza of the Ottawa Senators, and of course of Coming in Hot. Order a Gabriel Pizza online at gabrielpizza.com or check out their menu. They have a lot more than just pizza for you to enjoy, including breakfast. Yorkie, you and I are going to go for breakfast soon, by the way. And of course, tonight is the thing we look for. The most Sens score 4. If they can score 4 against the New York Rangers, then you save more with the Gabriel Pizza perks. Download the Gabriel Pizza app and save 40% off any 9-inch pizza the day after the Sens score 4. So the winners are Shane Little and Saber Capellan. I'll go with that. I'll email you. I don't need to know. I don't have to pronounce your name when I email you. But those are the 2 winners today.
Congrats.
Gabriel Pizza.
Nice.
Enjoy. Give us 48 hours to get that stuff to you. So, your thoughts on Brady Tkachuk tonight? Does he score?
I will say, man, it's tough to score in this league. I will say yes. I will say yes. Sens win. Tkachuk scores. Big stage. He likes New York. I will say yes. To me, he has himself a night. No fight, but gets a goal.
I think he gets into one.
Yeah, who's he going to fight on the Rangers?
He's not fighting Matt Rempe. Did you see Rempe and Arbor Xhekaj go at it?
I saw that. Yeah,
that game was like. There's a lot of fun hockey to watch right now. A little bit of a
Really?
playoff feel.
Well, yeah. There's so many teams right there. Every game is so important. So no, that was a good fight. Two big boys going at it.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Unless it's a possibility it's at 3. We'll get back to you if there's a guest lined up or not. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy the game tonight. I hope Charlie feels better. We will chat with you tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.